Friday, January 16th. I'm talking a 5-game slate over at DraftKings for January 17th. We got 5 games going on, rotowire.com/soccer. If you're not subscribed, for some reason you're listening to this and you're not subscribed to RotoWire, you should. You should be subscribed. YouTube 15, that's 15% off any subscription. And you get these cheat sheets. We got 5 months to the World Cup. You're gonna want all the content, the premium content we have to offer ahead of the World Cup. But that's 5 months away. If you're not subscribed, you should be. 5 games, 10 teams. Here are the lineups over on the cheat sheet. Here are the odds. Liverpool home against Burnley. This is going to be a slate where you have to make some decisions. The listener, the viewer, you have to make decisions of what you want to do with your DFS lineup. It's not going to be down to me. It's not going to be down to anyone else. You got to decide, is Liverpool going to score the most goals like the odds suggest? Is Tottenham going to score the most goals? Maybe Chelsea. Maybe Chelsea, first game under new manager, first league game under Liam Rosenior. I actually don't know how to say his name. But looking at the odds here, Liverpool home against Burnley, 2.46 implied goal total, well above Spurs at 1.86. Chelsea are 1.91. Could argue the Chelsea matchup is hardest of those 3, and I think that'd probably be correct. Brentford have had a solid season, though it is away from home. Leeds are home against Fulham, and then Sunderland home against Crystal Palace. Those games both very low on the implied total. We got 2.46 for the Sunderland Crystal Palace match and 2.60 for Leeds Fulham. Actually, you know what? I think you could throw Leeds Fulham in this one because Leeds at home have been good lately. They have shown they can score goals in bunches. And, I'm not fully sold on Fulham being able to contain that, really. So I think any one of these 4 home teams here could lead the slate in terms of goals. So that is one thing I think you'll have to consider going in. But as usual, I'll be using my projections, the RZ DFS projections. If you want those, I believe they're going to be in our Discord, rotowire.com/chat. Otherwise, there will be a link floating around somewhere. So again, you're going to want to decide maybe at the end of it, maybe before putting your lineup together, you're going to want to decide, do I trust Liverpool? Burnley haven't been great all season. They've been the worst team away from home all season, allowing goals in bunches. But do you trust Liverpool? I mean, you look at the recent Liverpool results, and probably the short answer is no. Can you trust Liverpool? Probably not. If you're just looking at what they've done, scoreless draw home against Leeds. I think the Wolverhampton match 2-1, that was home. They didn't really get a ton of opportunities in that one either. Sunderland 1-1 at home. This one, arguably a little better. Burnley haven't been playing. I guess they haven't been playing well all season. I was going to say, without Josh Cullen, they've probably looked a little worse. Their central midfielder, who I think he tore his ACL. As for Spurs are less reliable and have been pretty bad offensively this season, but West Ham have been a really bad team last few weeks, last couple months. And you look at the results, 2-1 loss, Nottingham Forest, 3-0 against Wolverhampton, 2-2 Brighton, and then scoreless games, lost against Fulham, lost against Manchester City. A lot of bad results in there. And I haven't seen it in the last 2 days, but earlier in the week, Lucas Paqueta apparently wants to get out of there. So it's not usually a good sign either. I guess also the news was if West Ham get relegated, everyone under contract, it has to take a 50% cut in their paycheck. So maybe that gives them more motivation, though I'm sure they probably already knew that was the case. But as we're looking through everything here, I think the main thing that stands out is some price. Some cheap guys for Tottenham, I think, is probably the main thing that stands out. If you want to believe in Tottenham, if you want to believe in Spurs, Matthias Tell is 7,800. I think he's pretty much, if not a split with Pedro Porro, he's basically taken almost every set piece last couple games for Spurs. He's 7,800 home against West Ham. That's a pretty good spot. You look at the last result against Bournemouth. I know there's 11 crosses in there. He has a goal, but you remove that goal. We're looking at Matthias Tell, basically an 18-point floor, and he's 7,800 home against West Ham. So, pretty good spot there. If you can believe in them. I guess I should say Dominic Solanke is finally somewhat healthy. I believe he played a couple minutes off the bench in the recent cup match. Kolo Muani, basically the opposite of tell. You're not really going to get a floor, pure tournament play almost. Though again, he's home against West Ham, and you have the Richarlison injury. Richarlison's not going to be playing, so we could see close to 90 for Kolo Muani, and he's 3,700. But again, what's the status of Solanke? Wilson Odo-Bear has been playing a little more as well. He'll be off the wing, 5K, a little better floor than Kolo Muani, less likely to score. So you have all those guys. And then Xavi Simons is 5,800, no set pieces, but home against West Ham, 5,800. Got, I'm not paying 6,500 for João Polino, I'll say that much. But you have all these cheap guys. Pedro Porro, 7K. I'm not sure I'd go there, but again, you can play him home against West Ham. But if he's not the majority set piece taker, I would worry about that. Compare it when with Matthias Tull in there. I'm not sure I would get to the 7K, and that's going to come down to what you're looking at for Liverpool. So Liverpool, I started with Tottenham, but Liverpool, the main talking point here. Gakpo, 9,800. Ekitike, 9,400. As we look at this potential lineup here, they're getting closer to healthier. The main thing here is Szoboszlai I believe he's taken all set pieces lately, though Gakpo just returned. Okay, so Gakpo just returned. They're taking a split now, Szoboszlai and Gakpo. So that's the conversation there. And Szoboszlai has taken a little more advanced role lately. We see he did play a little more defensively against Barnsley, but that was because I believe McAllister or Gravenberch was dropped in that one. So you figure McAllister and Gravenberch are going to be back. Szoboszlai is going to be back in his more advanced role. Home against Burnley, you got to think he's going to get shots. He's going to get set pieces. And I believe he's going to be on PKs. So that'll be a conversation. Of course, he's a midfielder at 8,200. He is a little cheaper. You could plug him in. Florian Wirtz, maybe not a cash play, but definitely in the tournament conversation. Gravenberch is 5,300. McAllister, 4,700. I think you want to play Gakpo in cash games, and Ekitike is the guy with brace upside and assist. You play him in tournaments. I think that's kind of what it comes down to. It's really hard to trust Gakpo with kind of what he's done this season, and at least since the first couple months of the season, he just really hasn't been he's back from injury now. He's back 100%, but so we're building that lineup out, and let me check the optimizer again, see who other guys to mention. Yeremy Pino is a mention here, but only because of price. And where is he? 5,200. I'm actually just going to avoid all Crystal Palace players in the spot. So Mark Gahey's going to be out because he's going to be moving to Manchester City at Sunderland. Already a really difficult matchup. Just avoiding all Crystal Palace players. So if you want to X those guys out, if you believe that strategy, X those guys out in the optimizer, go for it. I don't trust any of them. If anything, you go to the Sunderland side. Do you want to trust Granit Xhaka for 6,100? Maybe not, but home against Crystal Palace, tons of injuries. Justin Devaney has been playing as a right wing back, and that's been going. It's been going fine. Lerma is probably going to come in for Mark Gahey on the back line. That's fine. It's still going to be mostly the core. Wharton and Hughes are going to be in the midfield. They're still going to get most of that core, but I think you can get to it in cash games. Granit Xhaka for 6,100. I don't think it's like the craziest thing. Because we could go through some of the cheaper midfielders here. I don't, outside of Pino, I don't know who stands out. 5,200. I guess you could look at, McAllister's 4,700. Doesn't have the greatest stats this season, but home against Burnley, you'd think that he's going to take a couple shots from outside the box. Wilson Odo-Bear is also 5K. He's in this range. So you got some options. Sasa Lukic, probably not going to go there. We can click into his profile, see what the set piece situation for Fulham have looked like. I would note that, I guess he hasn't been taking set pieces. I guess they really haven't had many set pieces. Harrison Reed started in the FA Cup game. So that set piece situation is probably still going to be Sasa Lukic, but they've been using the 3 center backs. While some of their guys are away at AFCON, that'd be something I'd watch out for in this one. But I'd still lean on some Leeds players because they're at home and they've played better at home this season. I haven't really mentioned Chelsea yet. Cole Palmer, 8,400, supposedly not 100% healthy. Neto 8,600, João Pedro 7,300. Delop, if he actually starts, he has an illness, he's 4,400. That would be interesting here. Though you probably, if Delop starts, you're looking at 60, 70 minutes. I think that's in range. Haven't received word if he's actually trained today. He didn't train. He didn't play Wednesday. He didn't train Thursday, dealing with an illness. So probably not a huge spot there. Enzo Fernandez, 6,900. Won't really look at Brentford players. Leeds players, Stotch is 9,200. Ridiculous pricing. Not going there. Sorry. Aronson, 8K. So that's kind of what we're looking at there. Calvert-Lewin is 9K. Good tournament play. Okafor, same if he gets to start. I think you can look at the Leeds defenders more because they've been running out wing backs. And that's probably going to be Munson again. Again, the numbers on these guys aren't great, but I think home against Fulham is fine as wingbacks. James Justin, and then Bogle just is going to return from his injury. Probably not going to start though. So as we're looking through a couple things, let's look through some Sunderland defenders, see where these guys are at. I think one thing to look out for would be the spot of Trey Hume. If they roll out, he's played as a midfielder, technical midfielder, a few times this season. And with all their guys back, Ronaldo's back from AFCON, so we could get this lineup where it's Mukiele, Eldrete, Ballard, and Reynaldo in there. And I think if Hume is in there, he's either going to be kind of wing back or he's going to play a little more advanced. So that's one thing I'd look out for in this spot. I think that'd be a pretty good spot. Trey Hume, his overall numbers aren't amazing by any means, but he's 4,400 as a favorite. Reynaldo is 3,500. His numbers are okay. He's one of those left backs that isn't really full on crossing fullback, but those are some options. Mukiele has a pretty good floor, 4,300. Pop into my projections is Robin Reifs, the Sunderland goalkeeper, because I kind of juiced his stats a little bit. But we look at Sunderland at home against Crystal Palace, 4,700. I just like low scoring game, like Sunderland at home kind of a thing. That's kind of what it's backed on. Luca Perry is 5K home against Fulham. And then we got the more expensive goalkeepers, Liverpool, Tottenham, Chelsea, sure. Whatever you want to do, go for it. So that's kind of what we're looking at there. Again, 7K, kind of expensive for Porro. I haven't mentioned the Liverpool defenders. We're probably, actually, I don't want to guarantee 90 minutes from Frimpong because Joe Gomez is playing. We could see Joe Gomez come on for Frimpong at some point. Kirkaj is 5K. Okay. Yeah, probably he's in there. So you could look at, if you're heavy in Liverpool, you could go there. Let me put together a lineup really quick here. Just going to come down to what we're looking at in the midfield. If we're spending on these Liverpool guys, who is our cheap option in the midfield or maybe utility? Matthias Jensen's 3,100, but at Chelsea, early sub, not really a thing I want to do. Harrison Reed, again, he took some set pieces in the cup game. Don't think he's going to start. Not sure what else we're looking at here. I guess Andre Santos could start. He has been starting for the new manager for Chelsea. Again, not really anything too exciting there. I think that's kind of it, other than what we've mentioned in the midfield. Wouldn't really go to Devaney. He's going to be an early sub. I know he's a wing back, but early sub there. And yeah, Freddie Potts, 4,300. Probably, honestly, too expensive for me since we don't know his minutes. Maybe set pieces, but we don't know his minutes. Brennan Johnson, 4,500. I don't want to play anyone from Crystal Palace. I guess you look at Sasa Lukic again, 4,500. Not really exciting. Maybe just go McAllister and hope for the best. Maybe that's what we're going with. And then utility, I have 3,400 left in this lineup for utility. I don't know. Just go Kanate, fill things out here. Don't really like too much there, but that's kind of what we got for Saturday's 5-game slate. Let me go over to the Optimizer, see if I missed anyone. Again, Optimizer, you need a RotoWire subscription to use the Optimizer. YouTube 15 to get 15% off any subscription. But I kind of mentioned a little bit of everyone. Don't want to play anyone from Crystal Palace. Really don't want to look at most of these away teams. Though, as I said in that Leeds Fulham match, I haven't mentioned anyone from Fulham. Would be surprising if we get some goals in this game. If Kevin starts, he is 4,600. Smith Rowe's been starting 5,600. Robinson 6K, not a great price to pay for him. Raul Jimenez 7,400. Hager Wilson 8,800. These guys are a little more tournament plays though. If you don't trust anyone on Liverpool, if you don't trust Matthias Tell, you could play Harry Wilson, or I guess for that matter, you could play Anton Stach. But probably not going to go there myself. But that's kind of what we're looking at. I think I talked a little bit on all these games, but again, rotowire.com/chat. Hit up our Discord once you're subscribed. And otherwise, we got the cheat sheets up, rotowire.com/soccer. We got a little bit of everything, but that's all I got. My name is Adam. You can find me at Zdroik. You can find RotoWire Soccer at RotoWire Soccer on Twitter as well, if that's your thing. But thanks for listening, and good luck on the slate.